and then I'm like trying to shoot her, also trying to play cover. Um, yeah. But like we can just watch the VOD in general I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Show detached player time playback time code. What does that mean?
Oh, not sure.
Turn that on and see. Oh, it says on the top. That's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure how useful that is, but turn that off for now. All right. So you roll out left side.
hmm
As a general rule, if okay, so I know we talked a lot about flanking,
Uh-huh.
but there's like the time on when to flank and how you flank depends a lot on what kind of comp you're running. So if you're
Oh,
up
okay.
against a comp that's more mobile than you, or just like both comps are relatively immobile, what you want to do is you want to chill with your team for the most part, and then flank as like the fight's starting. So you sort of
Oh,
like you
okay.
start with your team, you poke and then you drift, right? So
Okay.
right now both teams are relatively immobile, and if both teams are running like Ryan or like Sig Ryan and stuff like that, like which side of the map are they going to meet? The right side or the left side typically?
Um, maybe left side.
Yeah. So when Ryans come out, they go this way, right? Almost always.
Mm-hmm.
They just like this side more, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then so if you're playing McCree, you can go this way, and then you drift over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in a lot of cases, Widow is very popular in this map, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or just like long range heroes. So as a result, um, generally speaking, you only do this kind of thing when both teams are relatively short range. So you chill with your team, and then you show up over here and you're like, "What's up?" Right? Because now you're
Yeah.
the longest range hero, and you have an angle, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you also hard to pressure because if you get pressure, you just back up a step and you're right next to your healer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the kind of like soft angles that are not like hard flanks that are still technically like they're more off angling than flanking, you know?
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, again on this map, right? You can expect to not be the longest range hero as McCree, right?
Right.
So until further information, right? You kind of don't want to go with your team as McCree at the start, right? You'd rather just drift out and just walk straight this way, right? And now you're relatively
Mm-hmm.
covered from the long range heroes, right? Widow, right? Pharah, Ashe, they all love this spot right here, right?
Mm.
And this spot is covered against that, right? And now you have an angle over here, right? And if you're pressured, right, it's not that hard to get healing from over here. It's like essentially the same thing as over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you really need it, you can go back and grab the Mega, right?
Okay. Yeah. That makes
Um,
sense.
so conceptually, McCree, if you don't know what you're going to be running into, right? So like, say you're in a scrim and all they run is like Genji Tracer dive, maybe you don't want to play here, right?
Yeah, because you'll
But
be alone one v
yeah,
two.
yeah. Or like if you're going to come here, make sure you bring help like a Brig or something, right? Um,
Okay.
but if you're not sure on this map, if you're playing McCree, you can expect to be outranged, right? Um, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like if you played like an earlier round or something, and they rolled out and they had a pharmacy, right? Then you can expect pharmacy again, right? Or a widow or something, because that's I don't know why, but Pharah players also play widow. Uh, so you can just kind of be like, okay, they're gonna bring Pharah or widow or Ashe or some kind of pocket, right? So I'm just gonna go right side and angle, right?
Okay.
And just generally controlling this part of the map is relatively important, which is why it's actually really good that your Sig is going this way. Um,
Mm.
and if your Sig's going this way, it's even more reason for you to go this way because he's your protection, right?
Okay.
Which means that like if any individual DPS tries to challenge you, right? Like so the Doom tries to run at you, and there's just a Sig sitting here, like good luck, right?
Yeah.
um, so just really important things to consider, right? Left side is only makes sense if you're in like a dive mirror or something, right?
Okay. Because people are going on the right side in a way.
Well, yeah. So the flanker, okay. So generally speaking, you might want to chill like maybe over here or something, but flankers generally really like this path because again, tanks generally go this way, right?
Okay.
And then if you just poke them, just like because you again you can just sit here and be the longest range hero and like a Tracer, Genji, kind of like Fiesta, right? You can be the
Mm-hmm.
longest range hero just sitting here. So after the tanks initially do stuff, you just hop up here and you control this flank just by being here, right? Do you see this?
Mm.
And you can just like shoot
Yeah.
the Genji or the Tracer trying to cross this gap, and then meanwhile like and if you poke them out, you only need to shoot them once, right? You
Mm-hmm.
force them back, and then you can go, and then you can either like walk this way and start really controlling it and poking tanks, or just chilling and waiting for a dive of some kind, right? And then
Okay.
you drift, right, and flank.
Okay. Makes
So
sense.
yeah, that's a lot of theory. But that's like the general idea of what you want to do. If you have more range than them, right? Um, then you can play like really greedy and out in the open, right? But if you have
hmm
less range, you need to focus more on like what you can do to get like off angles without dying, right?
Yeah, playing more cover, more closed areas.
So the problem is you're going to roll it this way, and like yeah, you can shoot the Pharah. Like this is actually really bad positioning from her. What the heck? Uh, But like also you're really vulnerable to getting pressured yourself because you're with everybody, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. You see how these pillars just cause all these problems for you, and like you almost got hooked because you were with your team, right? It's like imagine if you're just
Yeah.
here, right? Bam, bam, bam. She has nowhere to hide. Hiding from you involves not shooting your team, right?
Hmm.
As much, and then also you're not gonna get hooked, right? There's not even a chance for it, and there's not all these pillars in the way as well.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Do you see how like she's trying to shoot you, and she is vaguely doing damage to you, but she's also applying pressure to your Moira, who makes it doesn't really want to stand next to you. Where'd your Moira actually go? Yeah, your Moira had to fade because she ate a rocket intended for you, right?
Oh yeah.
Like you're just like because you're taking damage, you're forcing your healer to stand closer to you to heal you because you have short range supports, and then
Hmm.
also the far as splash damage. And when she misses, she hits your backline, and that's why you just don't want to be with them. You're like you don't want to be that far away, but you do need to split to some extent, right?
Okay.
Like even a really simple split, like just hopping on top of this thing, right? Now,
Hmm.
if she misses, she's more likely to shoot like way back here, right? And that's less likely to hit your support, who's most likely like right here, right?
Hmm.
Um, and then like you shoot, and if you get troubled, like you just roll out and hide behind a pillar or something, right?
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. And the Moira died literally from like pure AOE damage, right? Nothing was actually intended for your Moira.
Poor Mora. She was
Yeah.
trying to help me.
I mean, she realistically, right? If this is a GM Moira, she probably doesn't die, right?
Hmm.
But that said, right? Um, if this is a GM Pharah, like she probably doesn't even give you this many shots, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, if they have a Pharah, you should go grab this Mega. Um, because the
Oh, that's right.
yeah, because sometimes the Pharah will just see you, right?
True.
And then you'll be sad. Oops. It's also like a little bit closer, right? The big thing is, and then also it gives you easier access to the flank that you want, anyways, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And you show up here, you flashbang, you kill the Ana real quick, and then you just roll away, right?
Hmm. Makes sense.
Again, you don't want the long range angle fights with a hero that has more effective range than you, right?
Hmm.
Like Pharah either wants to be very far away from you or very, very close to you, right? And you want to sort of have that mid range, right? That's your goal.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't stand still against Pharah, please. Yeah. You see how like this Pharah's not even really tunneling on you, and yet you're just eating a million rockets.
Hmm.
Like make her try and figure out where you are, right? It's like maybe like fire a shot here, and then go this way, and then fire a shot here, and then like disappear into this room, and then like then you have options, right? She has to guess which way you're coming out because she can't see you, right? And
Hmm.
if she guesses wrong, or if she just starts shooting rockets, she's wasting time, and you're just sitting here. And if she's just shooting rockets, trying to guess which door you come out of, that's two heroes that are not doing anything, right?
Hmm.
And if she's not guessing, you just walk out and you like three tap her, right? Because you're now at the
Yeah.
range you want to be at, right? And if you don't
Yeah.
three tap her, you're gonna force her to panic, blow all her cooldowns running away. You're gonna demand she's gonna have mercy healing the whole time, no damage boost, right?
Right.
And then you just leave, right? You go back to your job, and you've done your job at that point, right?
Right.
And that's how you want to approach the matchup. You can't just like blind poke at her because your hero doesn't actually kill her at these ranges, right? Like how
Okay.
many times have you like okay, let's look at your ult. You got ult now, right? How much of your damage is from shooting the Pharah? I'd say like 80%, right?
Yeah.
Like you like 80% of damage is shooting this Pharah that has literally never died, right?
Yeah. That's how this game felt.
Yeah, and she's not even scared of you, right? And it's because you keep playing these long range fights as if like you're a Widow, right? If you're a Widow, right, who has more range?
Widow.
Widow has more range, right? So the Pharah has to be scared of you, and now she needs to play the close sight lines, right, or the medium sight lines
Hmm.
even, right? Because
Yeah.
otherwise you just kill her, right? Because these traits favor Widow, right? But on McCree, especially after the follow-up nerf, you do literally zero damage at this range, right? Like I don't if you don't headshot if you don't like six shot headshot in a row, I actually physically think you can't kill her through Mercy Pocket, right? I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
You do like
Yeah.
21 damage a shot or something. With two shots a second, that's like what 40. Yeah, you literally can't out heal out damage to DPS the Mercy,
Yeah.
right? So there's no point, right? So normally you want to shoot the far as much as you can to pressure to like use cover and also like have healing instead of damage boost, right? But
Right.
like McCree just like kind of like shooting feathers at her from this range is not real pressure, right?
Legit.
Like
Yeah.
this isn't pressure, right? This is pressure, right? This is actually going to
Okay.
kill her, right? If she doesn't do something.
Yeah, I need to find that angle for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. You
I
just
think
need
we
to,
can
yeah.
kind of zoom through this because I feel like I never went in that room this game. It's just gonna be
Okay.
like, but like all
Yeah,
that helps a lot.
you killed the Pharah. How close were you to her?
Much closer.
Much closer, right? Yeah. There you go. Okay, that wasn't necessary. That's actually one of your best tools for killing the Pharah. You cannot throw that away. Shot. Nice shot.
So here I was trying to do cover stuff a little bit.
Yeah, but you see, this Pharah, she's shooting at you. She's literally like even with no mercy pocket, she's not even scared of you, right? So
Right.
instead, you need to start drifting this way, right? Or drifting this way, but get out of the middle, right? Because this is where the long range hero stands, right? This is if you have more range than them and they're defensive for some reason, right? If you have more range and vertical mobility, you put like here, or even on top of this, or over here, right? But because you're McCree, you're kind of forced to stand here, right? You don't really have other places to stand that are like high ground, right?
Right.
But and also you're more mid-range-ish than all the other long-range heroes, right? But because you are shorter range, right, you need to play the sides, right? And you want to play the sides generally, anyways. But yeah.
Okay, if I go like play left side by that pack,
Mhm.
I'm kind of scared of them just showing up because
Well, you don't
I have to
stay there, right?
walk a lot.
Yeah.
What's up?
You don't stay there, right? You just kind of like you see all the tanks, you see where everyone is right now, right? And you just kind of
Mhm.
like walk over here, right? See if you can get close to the fire without her seeing, right? Get over here, take 3 shots at most, right? And then roll away, and then you run,
Okay.
right? Because again, we talked about this like in your last review, right? When you show up somewhere, people follow, right?
People know, yeah.
Yeah. People, as soon as you start shooting, people will like be like McCree right, McCree right, McCree right, right, and everyone just runs this way, right? And you
Yeah.
just need to get out there before they even get to you. If you take any poke, if you take any chip or something, you can grab the mega on your way out, right? Or if not, just
Mhm.
like run back to your team, get some healing, right?
Okay.
But like showing up here will invite a response, right? You just need to time it so they're not looking here when you first show up, right?
Hmm.
If like you see the hog shifting to your right or shifting to his right, right, before you make this move, then you shouldn't go that way,
Yeah.
right?
Don't bother.
Yeah, don't bother. Right? At that point, you just like either like hold your position and like kind of plink at him, right, to make him back up, right? Because we talked
Mhm.
about how like your flank is difficult when people are looking, right? So if you just stand here and shoot him, what the hog's going to do, right? What's the hog going to do,
Mm.
right? And then if he does try to do something, you just roll, dodge his or LOS his hook, right? And then you just go back to
Mhm.
shooting him until he runs away, right? And then you can
Mhm.
push, right?
Yeah. You kind of won the flank a little bit.
Yeah. Or you can call it out. If you have an organized team, have them deal with it and go right. But like in this case, right, your tanks are really heavily committed on the right side. Your Diva's over here, which is your main anti hog, right? So it's better for you to just like stand here and blink away, right? If the hog tries to go left.
Right.
Um, but again, yeah, like just walk left if there's no one there. If there is someone there, you hold it until he tries to push and you shoot him, right? Or if it's
Mhm.
like someone else that you can fight, like as a soldier or something, right? You can just run up there and try and flash him, right?
Wait, whose bullet is that? That yellow? Is that my bullet?
No, this is
What the
bad.
heck is that? Oh, that's Bab. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So this is good. You're naturally doing it. I just want you to do this a little bit earlier, right?
Okay.
You see this McCree, right?
Yeah, he's in a
He's
good spot.
uncontested. He's going a
Yeah.
little far. He should honestly be like right here, right? Because like at this point now he can get shot, right? And also,
Right.
where are you, right? You have no cover against the McCree right here, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
at most be like on the statue, right? Or pushing
Mhm.
deeper, going for the far, right? Or using this when you try to get to the backline, then realize the backline's dead and go back, right? And just use this, right? But this
Mhm.
is not okay because
Yeah.
this is like three. I guess it's 4 shots now. One headshot, 2 body shots from death, right? And that's not good.
Right. Mhm.
It's good focus on the McCree, right? But again, you can still die here. And there's no reason to. And again, where are you in the middle? Where you're right in the middle of your tanks. Fire shoots you
Mhm.
by accident most of the time here, right? And that's no
Ricochet.
bueno. Yeah. Again, the ranges you're playing at, and you're standing still and playing with your team. Yeah, so just remember that especially when you're playing McCree, you can't keep the Pharah permanently out of the game, right? That's just not how it works. If they're playing a pharmacy,
Mhm.
right? Like pharmacy would be unplayable in the hit scan if one hit scan could just wall them out forever, right?
Mhm.
Right? It would
Yeah.
be unplayable. So it just if they're gonna play pharmacy into you, right? You don't need to keep her stop. You don't need to like stop her from shooting forever, right? You just need to stop her
Mhm.
from shooting at key moments, um, by threatening to kill her, right?
Mhm.
So and then because she's always looking for you, either she's always looking for you doing nothing, right, or doing a lot less, or right, she ignores you and you kill her repeatedly until she switches, right? Um, so that's the dynamic, right? You can't just like shoot at her and keep blinking and expect something to happen, right?
Mm.
Like you're not Widow, right? You're not gonna kill her from this range. So
So I need to show up in the moments that she kind of pushes, and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
when I'm
Like
really
if she's
threatening.
back here, is she really threatening anyone, right?
Yeah, because
She
I can
literally
kill her.
cannot see a person here, right? if
Yeah.
if someone dies here, that's on them. There's nothing you can do about it, right? And if they blame you for not shooting the
Mhm.
fire, right, then you mute them and move on, right? Um,
True.
but it's when the fire gets to here, right, that she becomes a lot more threatening, right?
Mhm. And
Or when
that's
she
when I
goes to
can
here,
peek out.
right? If she's on here, this is when you need to deal with it, right? Because this
Mhm.
is broad territory, right? Um, and then this is also threatening, but the big problem is that she has vertical cover, right? Which is why it's so difficult to contest a fire on this map, right? Um,
Mhm.
and like you just kind of have to like play the closest range you can, right? And threaten her, or have your team like back all the way up until she's forced to again make a more aggressive play. Because like here is safe. How does she extend into here, right?
Mm.
That's a really hard
Yeah.
question, right? And this is why Farah like is okay on this map, but not necessarily good, right? Is because she can't easily just like stand here and shoot you down, right? There's nowhere for her to
Mhm.
play realistically. She has pillars. That's about it, right?
Mhm.
And the pillars are relatively easy to threaten from like here, right? Because if you shoot from here, she has to hide from you over here, right? And if
Yeah.
she's hiding here, she can get shot by your team, right?
Makes sense.
So, um, but like that's kind of how you think about it, right?
Right.
It's like Widow, right? Like you can't always challenge the Widow. So what you need to do is play patiently with cover until she is forced to take a greedier angle in order to shoot you, right? And then you
Yeah.
contest her, right? So like for example, there's a Widow back here. You don't dive her here, right? Um, unless her
Yeah.
whole team is gone, right? You dive her when she like starts setting up here, right? Trying to get a better angle, right?
Mm. Okay. I gotta be more patient.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so this is something you need to prevent happening. Right? Because she got from here to here without you looking at her, right?
True.
That's the problem, right? So none of this was a problem, right? None of all this stuff here, this stuff maybe a little bit, this stuff like you need to start addressing, right? When she gets to here, this is when like you're approaching a range you can deal with, right?
Mhm.
And then here, like she should not have gone here without getting shot twice, right?
True.
Thank you. Back into the mix. My ultimate's charging.
Yeah. So see this range? It's all right,
Mhm.
right? But imagine being right here.
Ooh.
She's dead, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can
That's
hit
a
like three shots in a
headshot,
row,
body
she's
shot.
yeah, exactly, right? If you can hit 3 shots in a row, it's guaranteed death, basically.
Mhm.
Especially since the Mercy is probably dumb and not looking that way and not expecting it, right?
True.
Yeah.
True.
And then if you hit one headshot, it guarantees the three kill, right? Three.
Mhm.
So like,
But
so go ahead.
or I was just gonna say if you hit a headshot and you just need a body shot, right?
Yeah. Unless she reacts incredibly fast and starts healing in that time, right?
Okay. Okay.
Um, but yeah, it guarantees a 3-shot kill if you headshot once. And like again,
Mhm.
you walk out here, no one's looking here, right? The first headshot of your life, right?
Yeah.
Or you can like two tap the Ana in the back, right? If you two tap the Ana in the back, now this Mercy has to decide between rezzing or healing. And right, if she rezzes, you can kill the Pharah. And if like she starts
Mm.
healing, then like they're gonna be down on healing for the rest of the fight, right? And then also
True.
the Mercy becomes more like um easy to kill because she doesn't have a backup healer. And on top of that, right, any shot on the Pharah is like double damage because now she has to decide between healing her Pharah or her tanks, right?
Mhm. Makes sense.
But like this is just like again, right? If you're in for your range, you need to flank.
Right.
I shot that.
That was a damage boost. This felt like a good spot.
Yeah.
Because
So
they're not
whenever you
focusing me.
yeah, exactly. So whenever you get to a position where you're on high ground and off to the side, you're in a great spot. It's just getting there that's usually the problem, right?
Yeah.
So why were you able to stand here with behind a window, no less?
Because we killed Farah.
Because you killed Farah. Right? You killed the threat, right? And then meanwhile, right, your Genji ran down the McCree. You actually could have helped him with this. This is actually like a bit kind of problematic that you even look at the McCree. I don't know if you just
Oh,
didn't see
true.
him or anything, but
Yeah, I didn't notice him. I think.
yeah, like there's just stuff going on your left, and you're just shooting at it, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and again, like how you lose is angles, right? So you deal with this first stuff first. Once you win this and you kill the McCree and the Pharah, who's actually going to stop you from standing here?
No, literally no one.
Literally no one, right? So again, this is really good by the Genji and the Hog to address the flank, right? They pushed the flank as soon as like you guys got the opening kill, right?
Mhm.
But like that's also your responsibility, right? Because again, like once you've cleared that, right, the game is yours, right? You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to get yourself in that situation in the first place.
Makes sense.
All right. So what's the issue with what you're doing?
Well, I went into the open, but I feel like since everyone died, I have to get on point, right?
Well, okay. Is there a difference between one person being on point and two people being on point?
Oh, that's true. Maybe,
Also,
or maybe I was trying to insurance. I don't know.
if you're standing right here and the overtime wick is burning, will you have enough time to react if you realize that no one else is stepping on point?
Yes.
Yes. So do you need to be on point at all
Probably not.
until you know that like something's going on, until you know that no one can touch, right? This is
Makes
like that
sense,
support
yeah.
mentality, right? You need to understand that you're the last one who should be on point. If
Mm.
no one else is going to get on point, then you touch, right? But that's not your
Okay.
responsibility, right? Right here, right? Oh no, people died. Map jumped into the bomb for some reason, right? Unfortunate, right?
Mhm.
You see anyone in the vicinity of point?
I see my Genji, my Diva, my
Yeah,
baby.
your diva is probably going to die in the next 2 seconds. We're not going to worry about that. But your Genji is right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is better on point? You or the Genji?
Genji.
Genji, right? And the answer to this is almost always going to be the other hero, unless it's like an Ana or a Zen or something, right?
Mm.
So until
Yeah.
it's you and like a squishy support, right? And like I'm not even counting Lucio here, right? If it's like a Lucio Moira, they should be on point, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's you and a squishy support, you are always more important.
Mhm.
And in some cases, right, if you have high noon or something, right, you can still be more important than the support, or depending on positioning, right? If you're already farther away from the point and they're closer, right, maybe they're better suited to touch it, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe you have a BAP up here, right? It's harder for him to touch it than for you, right? So you should touch, right? Because you can just stand on
Mhm.
the corner. But jumping into the point and walking forward is like a death wish, right? Especially since the FAR is coming back and she can shoot you here, she can't shoot you here. Yeah, and like this whole time, right? I guess you can't see my pointer, but like I'm circling the 2. The
Which
red
two?
2.
Oh, the two
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 people on point.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, you're getting shot by
Yeah.
Farah.
Facts.
I'm on fire. Taking the
Hey, look,
point.
you walked all the way out here, and you walked all the way back, and you still touched in time.
True. And then die.
I really should have been
Open.
against you touched again. I don't know why he didn't touch. He like walked out over here, and then and then you had to walk out into the open and died to the Farah.
Sag.
Again, right? Like you didn't even need to be up here. Could have been right here the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And then the
that
Genji
makes
presumably
sense.
wouldn't have left, right? If he does, you can just like take a quick second, touch this, and back up again, right? And you can restart overtime.
This life's never uneventful.
Oh yeah, can we cover? I don't know if we have time, but can we cover the other map too? Like the next. Just I want to see some angles on this one too.
Okay. So this map is kind of odd. It's a giant pit of death that no one wants to stand near. That is
Yeah.
unfortunately the entire point, right? And
Yeah.
then like some some odd closed areas that surround the entire area, right? They're all closed, right? Except for like this
Mhm.
area. But closed, 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 right?
Yeah.
So the things to consider, if they're not running Pharah, is that McCree, generally speaking, is one of the long range heroes on this map because like, Tracer, Genji, I don't know, it's relatively short sightlines, right? Which means that McCree
Right.
is one of the longer range heroes you can run in this map. Like you're not gonna run a Widow most of the time, right? Outside of
Mhm.
like Owl, right, where they start running it because of Pharah specifically, right?
Mhm.
But when there is Pharah, right, she's going to be playing longer angles than you, right? And then also she has a billion rooftops to play on, right? So you need to like find out a ways to get underneath her without her seeing it, right?
Yeah.
And then you can start taking shots, right? So if she's just hanging out over here, right, and she's just spamming, right, then you can walk out over here, like two-tap her and run away, right?
True.
But if she's playing over here, it's a lot harder, obviously, right? At that point, you just need to like either kill the rest of her team by outflanking them, right? Or just hopefully just like bait out aggression, right, and then kill her with it, right? So like just chill here,
Mm-hmm.
and then she like gets greedy, starts walking out here, and then you just like three-tap her as you pop out, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But a lot of it is just information, right? You're playing a cat and mouse with the Pharah.
Yeah.
So this angle's good because you why is like so this split's good because you expect to be shorter range than the Pharah, right? So you want to play like areas that are like more away from your team because you don't want to be with them, right?
Mm-hmm. I think I wanted this room.
Yeah, that's fine. I like that you're not shooting either as well. Nice. You made that Pharah have the fear of God in her, right? Because you shot her twice from an angle she wasn't expecting, right? And she immediately hit, right? Meanwhile, this guy is about to die, right? Why is this guy about to die?
Because he has no support.
He has no support. You kicked his supports out, right? You kicked his help out. This is really, really valuable. Now you just need to not die from here, right?
True.
Nice.
All in a day.
The bot.
He's greedy.
Nice.
So I think I just tried to lean on this side of the map.
Yeah. Okay.
Much
This
as I
is
could.
a little far. All right. Never punished. Never punished.
Never finish. Never finish.
Remember what we said about the hog, though, right? If he tries to go this way, you're the one who needs to shut him out, right? So that means you need to sit here and you need to watch this corridor. Like you can look elsewhere, right? You can look back to see what your team is doing, right? But until your team backs up, right? Is there any reasonable chance someone's gonna be right here for you to shoot at?
Probably not.
Yeah. If like your Ana and Hog are right here, there's no one gonna be right here, right? What's gonna happen is they're gonna be right here shooting, right? And you're gonna be useless until your team backs up, right? So you can sort of get a read on where the enemy team is based on what your team is doing, right? So you look at your team, see that no one is even close to touching the point, right? And you go back to holding this angle, right? Then maybe checking and crouching and checking for fire, right? Yeah, but this is bad, right? Why is this bad?
Because he's already there.
He's already there, right? He's already like a quarter of the way there, or I guess it's like a third. And on top of that, you have no cover, right? So we talked about this spot being good because it has cover, and it's like right next to the mini, right? So you can like shoot here, and there's literally nothing you can do about it, right? This is like a little worse because it's closer, right? But it's still cover, right? And then this is like maybe too far for McCree, right? So this is like your optimal range against a hog specifically, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like you risk getting hooked like this. But anyways, you shot him twice, he backed up, right? See how simple that is?
True. True. He said later.
Nice, you mixed up your angle. So she thought she was safe from you, right? This was safe from here, right? And you went this way. And now she's like, okay, this McCree's always shooting you. What do? I'm just getting focused, right? But again, right? Me like Jaws
This
music.
boy. Solid Snake, James Bond.
This is why like you don't want to spend too much time plinking. Because if you spend all your time plinking, you're not actually like doing anything, right? All you're doing is charging ult. And you're very slowly because you're ult like you don't do damage on this range, right? So it's cool that you mix up your angle, but it wasn't kill threat because she's so far away, right? So it's more important to lock this side down than it is to plink the Pharah.
Okay.
Because you don't want to always be shooting the Pharah. You just want to shoot her at times when it's really inconvenient for her to deal with it. Either because it'll kill her, or because like she wants to be doing something else at the time, right? Going in for barrage or something, right? So like again, you shot her a bunch, right? But let this happen, right? So this is more valuable because. Okay, well the hog's bad, but,
yeah, you should have killed Mercy.
Yeah, like this could have been a mercy kill right here, right?
Yeah.
Careful extending out, right? And careful playing cover, right? You want to be here shooting the hog, not here.
Oh, that's true.
See that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, kindly.
Vulnerable to McCree.
Yeah. Again, right? We're looking at the Ryan. Do we want to be shooting a Ryan shield right now?
Well, the thing is, I know McCree rolled away, so I don't think, because I just didn't feel like nothing else could be shot at, right?
Sure. But how long will it take you to break the Ryan shield? You know how many shots?
Forever.
Yeah. So you do what, 420 damage with a clip, right? And then you need 4 clips, and each clip has like a 1.5 second reload. That's 6 seconds plus 3 seconds of shooting each clip. So that's
Wait, are you assuming that like I'm left clicking or right clicking?
Left clicking.
Left clicking. Okay.
So that's 18 seconds to break the Rhine shield by yourself. Obviously, you're
True.
gonna have a little bit of help here, right? But
Yeah.
would you rather shoot this for 18 seconds or spend 1 second looking at somewhere else for anything else to shoot? Like, you know, this guy, or potentially this guy, right?
True. True.
So like as soon as you turn around and you see this, right? Like again, you don't really want to leave this pillar. This pillar is your home, right? Like you don't need to walk this way. So that way, when you do decide to shoot this way, you just like literally walk 2 steps to your right, and like someone to shoot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you turn to your left, you see instead of walking to your left, you turn to your left, you see a Rhine shield, and you're like, okay, I'm turning back, right?
Oh,
Because
okay.
again, is this Rhine gonna do anything?
Nope.
If he walks from here to here, can you still shoot him from here?
Yes.
Yeah. So if he decides to walk all the way into your backline, you can just turn around and shoot him twice and he's dead, right? And then you go back about into your business, right? Most part, he's just gonna stand here. He's gonna shield. He's gonna test point for no reason. Then he's gonna back up with no shield, right? That's what he's gonna do, right? It doesn't take a genius to see what's gonna happen here, right? Instead, what you can
That's
do is
so
kill
true.
Diana, who's gonna stop him from feeding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or just generally
True.
controlling the right side of the map, right? Because if you don't see the Pharah here, where is she?
Probably on the other side.
She's over here.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be surprised by her just dropping down and killing you, right? You need to be ready for
Right.
it, right? And that means like being aware of where she is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you spent 5 shots on that, right? In the meantime, you lost your Diva mech, and the Ana got into the cage with you, and purpled your Mercy, right? And might kill
True.
your Mercy, right?
True.
Unlucky.
This is so unlucky.
But again,
But,
why did we lose
yeah.
control here, right?
Too much time spent on Ryan.
Let's see what the Rhine did.
He did exactly what.
He backed up slowly, holding his shield. He took 250 damage, backed up slowly, holding his shield, and meanwhile you guys died, right? And it's because you looked at him and not over here, right? You remember earlier,
True.
you shot the hog twice, and he backed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You shot the hog twice, and he backed up. And meanwhile, there are 4 heroes here now, because you didn't shoot one person once, right? It's so clear cut, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, you should just take your headshots there. You should know how much effort you have. Yeah. That wasn't the real problem, right?
Wait, so going back to the spot where McCree rolls away.
Yep.
That's the moment I was like, okay, well, there's no one here. So then, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I see Ryan and Main, but it's possible that, like, his team's behind him, but behind the walls. Like, does that make sense?
Sure, but there's a very small time penalty for just turning and looking, right?
Okay, so I saw. Okay.
Yeah, you see the Rhine holding a shield doing nothing, and you turn back. And you don't see anything
Okay.
here, right? If you don't see anything here, you turn back and look. Is he moving forward still? Are there more people showing, right? And also listen to audio
Okay.
cues. The Pharah was fighting your Diva the whole time up here, right?
Okay.
Like gather information to make decisions. Don't just like see like this is a big problem a lot of people have is they see something, they're like, I don't know what else to do, so I'm just gonna shoot it, right? But it's really important that you understand that like you're literally wasting your time by doing this, right?
True.
Like you kill the hog here, like you're like you saw the McCree roll out, and then you see Ryan, right?
And now I should look right again.
Yeah, your Diva has already lost her mech on the right side, right?
Yeah.
And you're still shooting the Ryan. You fire for 2 extra shots, and then you turn and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
All right, one more fight. We're already over
Sure.
time, but you know, we started late, so.
No worries.
It's high time.
Hey, you probably didn't need
Reload.
that, but again, like that's one of your biggest tools against fire, right? Against farmers specifically, just your ult to kill them.
Yeah.
When you have ult, that's when you don't necessarily want to play in the cage anymore. You want to play like long open sight lines that make the Pharah come at you, right? And the Pharah starts playing around that, right? Then obviously you shift, right? So she sees you playing here, waiting for a high noon, right? Then she starts going around this way, right? Then you rotate this way, right? You just always maintain super long sight lines because you're way more threatening with the high noon than she is to you, right?
Right.
But for the most part, you want to play the short angles. But you probably didn't need that because your team already won. I already said that. I don't know why I said it again.
Are you good?
All right. So for example, what we talked about with like where to look, right? What's the value of looking this way?
I think.
I mean, you get to see what your team's doing, right? But that's about it, right?
Yeah.
So how long should you spend looking at what your team is doing?
Like half a second?
Yeah, you should just stay where you are, right? Be like, okay, there's nothing here. I'm gonna go to my cover and I'm gonna look through the walls to see where they are, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go back to looking at the important angle. But
Yeah.
let's see what we do here. What's going on over here, guys? Oh, hey, my sports are back. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? All right. And meanwhile, there could be a hog right here, right? Like you spent the entire time looking this way, right?
I think I also want to make sure my Mercy came to me too.
Yeah, just look, right, and be like, ah, Mercy.
But maybe I want to give her like a guardian, right?
Yeah, you can do that from here though, right? You need to be
Oh,
here to
true.
do that, right?
Oh, true. Okay.
And you can meanwhile be looking this way, and be like, Mercy.
True.
Mercy. Mercy's here. Okay. Done. Again, this part of the map is important. This part of the map is already safe.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like, at minimum, it'll tell you things, right? If there's nobody here, where does that mean they're going, right?
Main.
That means they're going main, or left side, right? And then you can start looking this way, right? And start plinking it over here, right? And getting and charging your next ult, because you need it for the pharmacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you see the pharmacy shooting rockets from your left, right? Where should you go?
I think
sitting right here.
my hunch tells me to go right,
Yes, why right?
so she won't expect it.
Because it's not where she's already looking.
Yeah.
Right? You walk out here, she's already looking here. It takes a small adjustment. She's shooting a rocket at you, right? If she's not, if she's over there, you walk out here, boom, boom, 2 shots, right? For free.
True. Yeah.
Hang on, I got a bot in my channel.
Oh shit.
Ban it real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. And you're also taking damage because you're also exposed, right? Wow, I'm also safe here from over there.
Yep.
All right, this is a lot less safe without roll, because roll will get you out of stuff, right?
Mhm.
So if you're gonna do this, peek very slightly, so that way you don't get conked out and 2-shot, right?
True.
And also, you want to play a little bit further back now that you don't have roll, right? You just want to chill behind this pillar instead of here, because at this range, right? Again, Pharah wants to be either very close to you or very far, right? So the problem is with playing right here, like on this part of the circle or the cage, right? Is that she can just drop down and be right on top of you, right?
Mm.
Whereas here, it's a lot harder for that to happen. You get an easy flash, right? And that
Right.
way you dictate more of the terms of the engagement, right?
Mhm.
Again, where's the Pharah? Do you know?
Well, she should be on the right, but maybe I don't know if I knew that in game.
She could be on the right. She could also be above you, and you have no idea, right?
Mm.
She could be going over you right now, right? See if she is. She's not. Okay. But like, you don't really know that because you're spending all your time looking this way, and you're not like playing a neutral cover, right? This cover is like very committed to this direction, right? And again, she drops down here, she sees you, and you can't do anything about it, right?
Mm.
You want to play like a more neutral cover, which is like right here, right? And if you
Okay.
get shot from both, you back all the way out, right? And now you can only be shot by one, and you can control which one you shoot at now, right?
Okay.
But like you want to like if you're playing here, right, you're very committed to this, and you're not even well covered against it, right? And if she drops down and were to push you now, or to go over, you would have no idea because you're not looking, right?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Nice. This is really good, right? He wasn't. She wasn't looking at you, right? And you got three shots and killed her, right? I mean, she she killed herself, but you know.
Yeah.
All right, gotta use your ears here. I know I'm cheating because I can see through walls, but like, just listen, all right?
Is it for the McCree?
Yeah. The problem with this, the reason why I don't have this on all the time is you can't actually see your teammates with this, which is really annoying. But you just saw the McCree, right? You saw him right there, right?
Hmm.
Listen, it's on your right. You're gonna walk out
Oh
with
god.
this guy right here and with a flashbang, right?
Oh god.
I can't believe he didn't push you here.
Oh no.
Right, he's gonna push you eventually. It's gonna happen.
Right. Oh god. He doesn't know either.
All right, so you may be blind to deaf, but he is also blind to deaf. So everybody is safe here. Anyways, more to the point though, you should have killed him, right?
Right.
Even if he doesn't kill you, you should have just like walked around here, flashed and killed him. And now, again, what's going to stop you from holding the angle, right?
Nothing.
Nothing, because the only guy who's going to do it is dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you can sit here and you can see this low health monkey with who has no bubble, and a low health diva, who presumably doesn't have fly, or at least is busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a mercy pocket, which means that a low health diva literally can't deal with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can just stand here and you can plink away for days and you win the fight, right? And if the mercy tries to res, now you're free to literally walk out in the open because there's no actual like ranged threats anymore, right? And you can shoot the mercy
True.
going for the res, right? And then you go about your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's really important that you dress the off angle first and you don't get bogged down shooting diva.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Ryan, right? She's gonna get half health and she's gonna fly away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pressure is good on tanks. Again, shooting. Okay, so in order of priority, right? It's clearing angles, right? Slash and shooting and killing squishies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then shooting tanks, and then shooting shields.
Right.
The problem here is we've been shooting shields and tanks like they're important stuff, right? But like
Right.
this is the important stuff. This guy right here, right? This guy who literally
Right.
has 0 awareness. This is the freest kill in the world, right? Take your freebies, you know?
Right.
He's so bad.
He didn't even turn.
Yeah. Okay. Now though, right? What's your threat?
Like, what should I shoot?
What is going to kill you? If anything.
Maybe Farah coming
Yeah.
back.
Well, Farrah got res, right? You tried to flash it,
Yeah.
you missed, right? Where is she right now? Do you know?
No clue, but she's probably above me.
Yeah, she's like right here. She got res right
Right.
here. Remember? This is where you killed her.
Yeah, there she is.
And then you can hear the rockets to your left. So it's really dangerous for you to just walk out like this, when she could be like right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So shooting tanks is cool, shooting mercy is cool, but do it from inside the thing, right? From here. There's no difference in range, really, right? And that way, you have an easier time swinging out for the far if she's like not paying attention.
Okay. Makes sense. Oh, Sag.
I'm on a roll.
Farah! Don't look at that.
Yeah, why isn't she picking me yet, actually?
Because she's bad.
Maybe she's low.
She's also low,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's bad.
But she's also bad, right? Like, a lot of these people in this
Yeah.
lobby are bad, right? I'm pointing out to you, like,
True.
a lot of obvious mistakes they're making, right?
True.
And you just need to learn to punish them, right? Make them pay. And then you win the games.
Facts.
Yeah. Is running the way that she's shooting rockets the best way to get the angle?
Not the move.
No, you just sit here and you walk even further to the left and you'll probably get a better angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even further out here, right? Even better angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
See how this works?
Right.
Alright. We should probably end it there.
Okay.
Any questions on anything?
Like, just real quick, like, in terms of my progress, like, what should I focus on now? Should I just keep refining the same stuff?
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
are
this
these
is
are
like
these
a
the
fundamental.
same issues?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
fundamental, right? So you
Okay.
can only get better at it, right? It never goes
Right.
away. It's always important. So it's important to remember that like you're gonna be top 500 one day, and you're gonna walk in a game, and be like, oh, I messed up this flank, right? Like I messed up the timing on it, right? This is just like it's just part of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like yes, it's technically the quote unquote same issue, but you've gotten a lot better at it already.
All right, cool. And
Um,
then, like,
This is
Oh,
really
sorry.
just a breakdown of how to play against fire. I'll be honest.
yeah, no, that's really helpful though, 'cause I needed that. And then, like, for sound, like, how do I hear stuff better? Should I just turn my volume up? I know there's like the Dolby Atmos setting and stuff. Is it just
I don't know. Go into like the training range or something until you can like, and just like turn around and see what things sound like from different areas, above, below, behind, right?
okay? Okay.
Those are like the important ones. And then just remember like when you catch glimpses of stuff, like you need to, like it's again this game's really hard because there's so much stuff happening, right? It's hard to process.
Right.
But like when you cross this gap and you see someone there, you need to remember who that is, right? And that they're there.
Mhm.
And then when you get to this point, right, you have to make a choice between going this way to kill him or going this way to kill him. But this is the guy you need to kill, right?
Mhm.
Not this guy, but you know the guy who was here.
Right. Right.
Like you need to remember that. You can't just like be like, oh, the guy's there, and I don't really. I'm just gonna focus on what's in front of me, right? Instead of like
Yeah.
listening to what's happening on this side. Like even if you didn't see who it was, right? You can hear who it is afterward, right?
Yeah.
And you can be like, plink, plink, plink. Oh, it's McCree, and then you walk out and you shoot him, right?
Right. Okay.
But you got to remember that stuff, right? So it's not really
Yeah.
necessarily sound so much as just like keeping track of a lot of moving parts, right?
Okay.
Like people joke about how at lower ranks there's like object permanence is not really a thing, right? But that applies to like most ranks. Like awareness is like very hard to come by in this game because it's so fast and so difficult, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the more you like, so when I say like that, like remember where the fire was, right? Like I hadn't seen the fire in a while either. I'm watching from your POV, right? But
Mhm.
I remember the fire was res here, and I could hear her shooting a rocket every once in a while, right?
True.
That means she's still here, right?
True.
And so it's
Gotta
really
really
important.
remember that.
Yeah. So like I don't know. One thing you can maybe try and practice is this is I don't know how good of a drill this actually is. I've never actually tried it. But one potential idea is you can go into like a replay or something of like just like pick a fight, right? Watch it for like 10 seconds or something, and then go to this thing, turn off outlines, or turn off outlines while you're watching the fight, right? And just pause
Yeah.
and try to figure out, try and see if you can remember where everyone is, right?
True. That's actually a good drill.
Yeah. Um,
I'll try that.
yeah. Again, I don't know how valuable that be, and there's certain times when you just don't know where certain people are, right? And then you can maybe like spend the time like coming up with ideas like where they might be, right? Like
Right.
where is the Doom? That's a really important question a lot of the time if you don't know where he is, right?
Yeah.
Because like sometimes he dodged you well, he hid well or something, right? Or he was on defense,
Mhm.
right? And you don't know where he is. Um,
Mhm.
and but if you pause and you realize, huh, I don't know where the Doom is right now. You know that probably should have been something that occurred to you in the game, right?
Right. Right. Okay. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
That's all.
Okay, awesome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. No problem. In summary, big things for you. Just identifying whether or not you have more range, right? That's a really big one. Against Pharmacy, you usually like what ranges you want to play at. You want to against Pharmacy, you want to play that like mid range. You don't want to play too close. You don't
Medium.
play too far.
Yeah.
Unless you only want to play close, right? If you really have the jump hunter and you can flashbanger, right?
Right.
But for the most part, you just want to show up, get 2 to 3 shots in, and leave if you don't kill her, right? And trust me, if you get shot twice by McCree, and like it doesn't matter if like the McCree stays there, you're panicking, blowing all your cooldowns and running as far, right?
True.
So you just need to make sure you don't get killed in return by like a tank or something, right?
True. Makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that about sums it up, to be honest.
And don't shoot the tanks without looking.
Yeah, look
to the
anywhere
point.
else first, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be like you come back from spawn or something, and you'll walk out and be like, okay, I have nothing else to shoot except the tank, and then I'll rotate, right? But like that needs to be part of your rotate, right? Like shoot, 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 shoot. All right, what am I doing now, right? Or like
Right.
I don't know, like you walk out here, shoot, shoot, right? Go about my business, right? But
Right.
like you want to be moving to somewhere where you can shoot something besides the tank, unless the tank is literally the only one doing anything. In that case, they're feeding, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Hope that's helpful.
Of course.
Let's see
Yeah.
who's next.